You've been playing for a while. You're not a beginner with music, but something isn't moving and you can feel it. The same ceiling, the same frustrations, the same point where things fall apart. Today, I want to talk about what's actually happening when that happens and what it takes to break through to the other side. Let me ask you a couple questions. Have you been at roughly the same level for 6 months or longer despite practicing consistently? If you play another instrument and you're adding violin to the mix, are you finding that what works on guitar or bass or ukulele isn't transferring the way you expected? And wouldn't you agree that clarifying exactly what kind of ceiling you're hitting, what the block is, and having a specific approach to break through could help you? And wouldn't you agree if you found out the breakthrough wasn't about working harder, but identifying the one thing that's been quietly holding you back, you could celebrate that and move forward with fun and with confidence. If we haven't met yet, I'm EP Archer. I help committed adults over 30 who play an instrument or sing create beautiful tone and unshakable confidence without compromising who they are or the music they love. 2 players, same ceiling, different paths. Think about the breakthrough seeker. That's somebody who's been on, let's say, the violin and has hit a wall. Their tone, their shifting, vibrato, performance nerves, they have something that won't budge. Maybe it's a rigid vibrato. Maybe it's something that is like every time I perform, I just get sick to my stomach and I can't play well. We also have the string traveler, someone who comes from guitar, bass, ukulele, cello. They feel the music deeply. They have great ears. They have a lot of facility on the instrument they're coming from. But fretless intonation and bow mechanics are a different physical language. Sometimes when we're switching from a fretted instrument to a fretless, we have this blind spot with our fretboard assumption. We know what a fretboard is like and where to put our fingers. But when you switch to the fingerboard, that intonation is not just structural. It's not just geographical. The angle of your finger, the pressure, the slightest change can make a huge difference. And that can be super frustrating right away. Because on violin and cello and upright bass, our intonation is both physical and somatic. We have to have it audiated within our brain. We hear the sound, and our finger placement has to be felt, seen, and measured, not just placed in a general vicinity. That helps our muscle memory to work together. So when you're transferring from a fretted instrument, you can often feel really proficient at first as a beginner, and then when your standards raise a bit, you plateau faster because you're solving the wrong problem. One of my favorite examples is a gentleman that played really well on the guitar and had done some string classes and fiddling classes, but just couldn't get that technique organized. But when he worked through what his breakthrough wasn't the exercises, it was identifying how he was approaching the instrument and being able to feel that more delicately in his fingertips than he felt it on guitar, and feeling that wrist differently than he felt it on guitar. So the breakthrough was just identifying this feeling. And when he did it, he rebuilt his technique. He got first violin in his community symphony. So proud of him. Best smile you'll ever see. One thing changed the trajectory of everything. Ericsson's plateau research says that when skill development stalls, it's almost always because practice has become comfortable. Wouldn't you agree? We usually shoot for that. We want practice to be comfortable. That feels good to us. We want to feel good. But if we're too comfortable in our routine, our brain stops building new neural pathways, and then our tasks stop challenging us. We want to be present, engaged, understanding and feeling how our body works so we can get on the edge of our ability. We want targeted work just beyond our comfort zone, with specific feedback, with people around us that are doing the same thing. I had a ceiling moment with classical music myself, and when I started learning jazz, I thought, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? I knew that if I learned jazz, I could play anything, but it wasn't the technique as much as it was learning a new identity, a new vocabulary, and a new way of expressing myself. And when I got the confidence for that, I realized the ceiling wasn't what I thought it was. People like Darol Anger, Joe Deninzon, they're both players who deliberately broke their own genre ceiling. Anger moved from classical into newgrass and psychograss and created an entirely new vocabulary that now we all want to copy. Deninzon brought electric violin into rock and jazz and string quartets and even the band Kansas in a way no one's ever done before. Their ceiling broke when they stopped asking, am I doing this right? And started asking, what does this want to be? How does this live? How does this music I'm doing speak through my fingertips and my wrist and my arm and my bow? The plateau isn't a verdict on your potential. It's actually a welcome signal. It's something that you can celebrate and say, okay, I've got this. Plateau means I'm ready for a transformation. I'm ready for a breakthrough. It just means your current practice isn't challenging enough, and that is a good thing. It means you're ready for fresh connections in your brain and you're ready to do new things. And one targeted breakthrough can open up more doors for years to come. So here's how you can apply this today in 5 minutes or less. Identify first what is the biggest block. What's holding you back? That's your ceiling. Think about that dream, that desire. I want to be in a rock band. I want to start my own string quartet. I want to write my own music. I want to play the Mozart concerto. Think of that goal. And your block is whatever's between you and that goal. It's why the goal isn't happening now. Is it your bow technique? Is it a specific finger passage that's difficult? Maybe it's performance anxiety. But what is between you and your goal? The more specific you can name it, the more targetable it becomes. Write it down. And if there's more than one big thing, write them down. Now, ask, am I actually moving the needle on this? Am I working on this in my practice? Do I know how to work? Do I know how to get around this? Do I have a solution that is measurable that is creating a transformation for me? Probably the answer is no if you're plateaued. But if you can just choose one session, one person, one environment to move the needle, you can bust through that ceiling. Just one thing can make a huge difference. Write down your ideas on what that could be. Maybe it's an expert instructor. Maybe it's a cohort. Maybe it's just a free Facebook group where you can be around people doing the same thing and not feel like you're working on it alone. Maybe that's enough. Our blocks, the ceiling that we are creating for ourselves, are always more specific than they feel. And when you name it, you can solve it. Remember that when you have comfort in your practice session, that is the enemy of your growth. Of course, review, play pieces that you love, do something that feels good, but then get on the edge of uncomfortability and stay there as you transform. Shift from saying I'm stuck to, this tells me exactly what to work on. I'm so glad for the information. So name your ceiling and come tell us what it is. If you're a violin player, join us at facebook.com/group/adultviolin. Anyone else, find me, EP Archer, on Facebook or Instagram. You might be surprised at how many people are working on the exact same thing. So come, pop in and say hi. And remember, your best music is on the other side. And I'll see you there.